there, this is Ximen Qing. Today we're diving into a topic that's a little controversial. You see, for centuries, whenever people in China talk about a promiscuous woman, one name always comes up first: Pan Jinlian. She's remembered as the most infamous promiscuous woman in Chinese history, almost like a femme fatale. But what really happened? What's the real story behind her reputation that has lasted for so many generations? Stick with me, because I'm about to share her tale. In this story, we'll simply call her Jinlian. 1,000 years ago, back in China's Song dynasty, there was a young woman named Jinlian. She was strikingly beautiful, but unfortunately, she was born into a poor family. Her father passed away when she was only 7. To survive, Jinlian went to the city and worked as a maid in the household of a wealthy merchant. The merchant quickly noticed her beauty. One day, after drinking too much, he forced Jinlian into his room and assaulted her. His wife heard strange noises and walked in, and what she saw was Jinlian with her husband on the bed. The merchant panicked, afraid of being caught, and quickly lied. He told his wife that it was Jinlian who had tried to seduce him. Furious, the wife ignored Jinlian's desperate attempts to explain herself. In ancient China, masters had full control over their maids, even their freedom and marriage. So, to punish Jinlian harshly, the merchant's wife quickly married her off to a dwarf who lived nearby. This man's name was Wu Dalang. Dalang means he was the eldest son in his family. He was less than 1.5 meters tall. That's about 4 feet 11 inches. And he looked unattractive. Since childhood, he had been mocked by neighbors. And even into his 30s, he still couldn't find a wife. For Wu Dalang, marrying Jinlian felt like a gift from heaven. But for Jinlian, it was the opposite. After the wedding, Wu Dalang was overjoyed every day. Jinlian, however, was miserable. Staring at her ugly, timid, and weak husband, she felt like her life had no hope at all. And that hopelessness would soon push her toward a dangerous path. Now, when we talk about Wu Dalang, we have to mention someone truly remarkable: his younger brother, Wu Song. Wu Song would later play a huge role in Jinlian's fate. He was about 1.9 meters tall, that's over 6 feet 2 inches, strong as an ox, and a master of Kung Fu. So how did he become famous as a fighter? The story begins at a little tavern at the foot of a mountain. The owner sold very strong wine, and he liked to brag that his drink was called Stumble Out. The meaning was simple: once you drank it, you couldn't live sober. Most people would collapse after only 3 bowls, and if that didn't stop them, the mountain above surely would, because a furious tiger often attacked anyone who tried to pass. To warn travelers, the tavern even had a flag outside that said, 3 bowls only. Don't go up the hill. It meant if you drank more than 3 bowls of wine, you'd be too drunk to survive the mountain, especially with a tiger waiting up there. But when Wu Song stopped at this tavern, he ignored the warning flag. He drank not 3, but 18 bowls of wine, and despite the owner's warnings, he staggered straight toward the mountain. In the woods, a huge tiger suddenly appeared and leapt at him, but Wu Song had no weapon. Fueled by wine and courage, he fought the beast with his bare hands, and in the end, he beat the tiger to death with his fists. News of Wu Song's victory soon reached the city. The mayor announced that the man who killed the man-eating tiger was now a hero. To honor him, the mayor made Wu Song the new constable of the city. For Jinlian, this tall and powerful younger brother-in-law, a tiger-slaying hero, was simply irresistible. She dressed herself up carefully, and time after time tried to tempt him with her gestures and words, showing her desire for him. But Wu Song had principles. Jinlian was his eldest brother's wife. No matter how she tried, he firmly rejected her advances. To put an end to this dangerous situation once and for all, Wu Song resigned from his post and left the city to travel to a neighboring province. But with Wu Song gone, Jinlian's dangerous desires did not disappear. To pass the time, Jinlian began learning embroidery from an elder woman in her neighborhood, known as Granny Wang. One day, a man named Ximen Qing came to visit Granny Wang. By chance, he saw the beautiful Jinlian inside the room, and in that instant, he fell in love with her. Ximen Qing was a wealthy merchant who owned a pharmacy. He was handsome, always dressed in fine, luxurious clothes, wanting Jinlian for himself. Ximen Qing handed Granny Wang a generous amount of money, begging her to help him win Jinlian's heart. But Granny Wang's involvement would soon drag Jinlian deeper into danger. Granny Wang tried to persuade Jinlian. She said, "You are such an unlucky woman. You are beautiful, yet you married a dwarf. Every time you walk down the street, people laugh at you, adults and even children. Now, here is a tall and handsome man who wants to marry you. What are you still hesitating for?" But Jinlian replied, "Ximen Qing already has 3 wives. I shouldn't accept his love." Granny Wang shook her head and argued back. "Even if you became his 4th wife, it would still be far better than lying next to a dwarf every night." Jinlian had no words to answer. Blushing, she finally agreed. And so, inside Granny Wang's house, Ximen Qing and Jinlian began to meet in secret. But their affair did not stay hidden for long. A fruit seller, whose stall was near Granny Wang's home, discovered the truth. He told Wu Dalang. Furious, Wu Dalang rushed to catch them in the act. But because his small, weak body, he was kicked to the ground by Ximen Qing. His chest was badly injured, and he had to stay in bed to recover. And this injury would soon lead to an even darker tragedy. In ancient China, women could not ask for a divorce. If a woman wanted to marry another man, it was only possible if her husband divorced her, or if her husband died. So, to marry Ximen Qing, Jinlian made a deadly choice. She accepted poison from him. Then, while Wu Dalang was still recovering from his injuries, she mixed it into his medicine. She tricked him, saying it would heal his wounds. Wu Dalang drank it, and soon after, he was dead. I know this is a sad story, but let me share a little fun fact here. In recent years, the scene of giving the poisoned medicine has become a popular meme online in China. When someone jokingly says to you, "Dalang, time to take your medicine," it usually means they are really upset with you. And honestly, just hearing that phrase might give you goosebumps. Haha, sorry, let's get back to the story. At that very moment, Wu Song returned from his travels. When he saw that his brother had died so suddenly and mysteriously, he decided to uncover the truth. Through his investigation, Wu Song had discovered that a man named Ximen Qing had been having an affair with his sister-in-law, Jinlian. So he stormed into Granny Wang's house and forced her to point out who Ximen Qing was. But Ximen Qing already prepared a trick. He gave Jinlian's shoe to another man, making Wu Song believe that man was Ximen Qing. In his rage, Wu Song killed this innocent man to avenge his brother. And because of this, he was arrested for the murder. As punishment, he was sent thousands of miles away to the cold northern frontier, and he was never allowed to return to the city again. With Wu Songgang, Jinlian easily married Ximen Qing, becoming his fourth wife. But even as Ximen Qing and Jinlian thought they had everything, fate was far from finished with them. After marrying Ximen Qing, Jinlian lived a life of corruption and indulgence, filled with pleasure and excess. But one night, after being with Jinlian, Ximen Qing took too many aphrodisiacs. From overindulgences, he suddenly died. By then, 7 years had passed, and on that very day, Wu Song was finally pardoned and allowed to return home. Wu Song had always suspected that his brother had been murdered. So once he returned, he decided to investigate again. One night, he even dreamed of his brother's restless spirit, crying out for justice. This deepened his suspicion, and he went straight to the coroner who had handled the case years before. When Wu Song learned the truth, his fury knew no limits. He tricked Jinlian, pretending he wished to marry her, now that she was a widow again. But under the pressure of Wu Song, and with officials and neighbors as witnesses, Jinlian confessed everything. At last, Wu Song took revenge for his brother. He executed the promiscuous Jinlian, putting an end to her story at the age of 23. In Chinese history, Pan Jinlian has always been remembered as the unfaithful wife, beautiful yet promiscuous. For centuries, she carried the reputation of a wicked woman, cursed and condemned by all. Today, her very name has become a symbol of lust, cruelty, and betrayal. Her tragic ending echoes an old Chinese saying, "Good deeds are rewarded with good. Evil deeds are met with evil." If the time has not come, it simply hasn't come yet. Did you enjoy the story? If you did, please like and subscribe. It means a lot and will help our channel grow. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next story.